this computer. Got it. I don't know why, but my Kazan is not recording my audio. So, all right. Does anybody not have the handout, the lecture number 3? Fine. Everybody good? All right. So last class we covered up to wildcards and globby and grep, right? And find. So today we're gonna go over sort, split, cut, and paste. All these commands, they're gonna be a lot more exciting and they're gonna make sense once we start doing like a script, once we start like using the for loops. Right now it's gonna be like a let's type something so it does just one task. Later on, you're gonna have like a multiple task being done and you need like every single tool. Like do you remember like when you look at those two boxes and there's like a screwdriver, there's like a that's this small. Right now it doesn't make sense because you have enough room, but like later on when you're working on a place that's the only screwdriver that's gonna fit the spot. So, oh, this is why, you know. So it's pretty much the same thing. So I'm gonna do a different order today. I'm gonna do a split first, and then sort, cut, paste. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, instead of creating the files just like the Terry does, this is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3. I'm just gonna go on the internet and just grabbing something from the web. So I'm gonna look for a dictionary. I'll just type dictionary and text file. And usually, if we're gonna look for some CSV files or any files, usually GitHub is actually the most secure place. Because like from all the places that I was looking for examples, most of the places asked me to actually either put my credit card in or my social security number. I don't know why they need that. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go words.txt. So you guys can follow the same thing, and so you can have the same file and then you can do the same exercise. So on GitHub, either you actually copy the whole fact the guy has, like did you see that in the first page? This guy had a bunch of stuff here. So I can actually go and download the zip file with everything, but I don't want to do that. I just want one file. So I'm just gonna go to the file that I want. And then you can see down here, it's called view raw. I'm gonna click on the view raw. And then this is the file. So I'm gonna right click. And then I'm gonna save as words.txt. And then I'm gonna save on my desktop. Do you want to follow my computer? Is it better if you follow on my computer? It has the same screen. Sure. All right. So right now, on my desktop, there's a words.txt file, right? So I'm gonna open my terminal. I'm gonna move to my desktop, right? How do I look at this file? Cat words.txt. I can cat. What's gonna happen when I cat? He's gonna bring the whole dictionary up, right? So we can use like a more or less. Something that I use a lot is like either head or tail, and then you can see the beginning or the end of the file. So let's say I'm gonna do head, and then I'm gonna say words.txt, and he's gonna give me the first 10. He's gonna give me the first 10 lines of my file. Actually, that was one of the questions. How do you print something? I'm gonna actually go to split. That was my explanation. Let's go to split. So when we don't know what a command does, the first thing to do is actually try, right? So split suppose is gonna split something. So like what I'm gonna try is that command split dash a 5 dash e and then words.txt. Right, so that was the command. I'm gonna clear. So I did ls, and that's what I have on my desktop. All these files. So when I split, supposedly I imagine I'm splitting something based on what?
How many lines?
How many lines they have? You can split between what's the file size. I imagine whoever designed commands or Linux, the guy is smart like that. He actually put all that. And how do you decide how that's going to be done? The arguments. So what does the dash a 5 was the next one? Dash D. So now we figure out what it does. Man. So we can do manual split. And then there's like dash A. Generate suffixes of length n. Let me go back. What are the name of my files? That one is x00036. So what does 5 mean? So supposedly if I do dash A4, my numbers are going to be this. Right? Just 4 suffixes. And what about dash D? Numerical. It's saying I only want numbers. So let's try something different. What if I don't use this? So let's say, can anybody tell me how do I split this file into two? What's the argument that we're going to use? So first I'm gonna remove everything from my screen. RM, X star. They're all gone. I'm gonna do manual split. Anybody?
You do yeah, split words.txt t dash n to dash d.
Let's do just dash n because I want to see the rest. So dash n, and then how many sides? Like how many?
Two, right?
Two.
So
And then like so split, and then like 5, right? What do we get? Split, dash n, 2, and then words.txt. That's right, he gave me 2 files. What's the name of the files? XAA and XAB. So that's why he put numeric there. If we actually chose numeric, what am I gonna have? Can anybody guess? If not 0, 0, 0, 1, or 0, 1, and 0, 2. 0, 0, 0, 1. Because I told numeric this time. See the dash D. As I said, like sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, why would a guy need to split something, you know? But later on, it's gonna make more sense. We just need to actually gather tools at this point. Later on, we're gonna be using them. One thing that's very good, like it's a good practice, is actually to try to break what's working. Doesn't sound like it, but it's good. So let's see. If I delete this 6 there and 2, is it gonna work or not?
probably not.
Actually, it works. So we don't actually need this space here. We can do N2. Can we do N2B?
No.
No. So I can't do N2D. Why am I saying that? Because for some things, you're going to be able to put extra spaces, less spaces. For some things, in Bash, it's going to be like that. You write this, there's one space, and then there's one of the next thing, and it's like it's going to be very precise. You mistype something, it's not going to work. And then you're going to be typing like a chair is going to pull up something here. It's going to say, let's type this. And everybody's going to have to type like a 30 lines that you can't mistype even a space, you know? In this case, it's fine. This space doesn't. But like we actually have to understand that if there's no space there, it's good. But like later on, you're going to understand, oh, if there's no space there, or if there's more space, then it's not going to work. Anybody have any questions about split? It's pretty straightforward. There's not much that we can do. I try hard to actually think of something interesting to do with split. Now we're going to move to sort, cut, and paste. And then I was thinking like what's something that interesting is here in the United States? Like, and there's one thing that everybody does, like 95% of the Americans do is fantasy football. I don't know how people can keep track of so many games, but yeah. So I thought, let's go to the web and let's try to download some like NFL stats. So what I'm gonna search for is NFL stats, CSV, and GitHub. And then somebody somehow collected like some data about it. That's the first one there. Then I'm gonna go to play-by-play data. Then I'm gonna go to regular season. And then I'm gonna go to 2019. Again, view raw data. And somehow the guy collected the information about every single play from the regular season. It's all in there. And imagine like how much data there is in a file that has every single play from every single game. So this is one of the reasons why we're going to be working a lot with like a command line, because we don't have to generate graphics. We don't have to put a space, put everything there, so the computer can do things faster. Just so we can see how slow it is. Let's try to open it. See? That are not even forwards in there. It's just like putting numbers in squares, and so that's the reason why we most of the time, like actually after some classes, we're not even gonna like you wouldn't even need to open your graphic interface for a computer. You can do everything from the command line. All right. There's one thing. In the future, you're gonna like right now, when you look at a video game or when you look at a computer program, you think like that. Wow, the guy who wrote this is smart. And that's not gonna be the case in the future most of the time, because you're gonna be able to do pretty much the same thing. Maybe you're not gonna put the time, but you could. So I was playing with this spreadsheet, and then my numbers were all wrong. And then, does anybody know what kind of file this is?
It's the CSV.
Yes, CSV file. So it's a comma, separated value, right? What happens if I put a comma in here?
Then that splits the value.
Then that splits the value. So somehow the guy thought it was smart to put a comma in there. So on the column Y, and that's why I asked why, there's actually the comment of the commentator on the game. And you can see there's a bunch of commas in there. So actually that messed up with our play. So I'm gonna just go ahead and delete that column altogether. Because there are comments in there, and then whenever we're playing in the so like if we do things here on the Excel or spreadsheet or whatever software you're using, it's gonna work. But when we do things on the command line, it's not gonna work because there's like the guy said it's looking like it's gonna split the. All right. So now I'm gonna save. And it was like I could sort anything, you know. I could create like a file with numbers 1, 3, 10, and then sort them. But like you say, let's try something more interesting. I was like, what kind of information would be good to sort? So I can try to sort, let's see, column numbers, column Z, yards gain. How many yards there is in a football field? 100? So nobody's going to get more than 100 yards, right? So, but when we sort, how do we know how something is going to be sorted? Like at first we have to know how the command works, and then we go back and we use it, right? So I'm going to close this. I don't need that anymore. But I have my dictionary there. So I'm going to clear. I'm going to head my dictionary. So my dictionary, I have 2. So this is just the first 10 lines. 2, 1080, and C, 10 point. All right. So let's use the commands here that Terry gave us. Sort words.txt. So if I type sort words.txt, what's going to happen?
Looks like it's just reading through everything.
It's going to just like a speed of the screen, everything, because my screen is my default output. You always go to the screen unless we do what?
We put the separate folder command with like the greater than sign.
Yeah, we direct to another file, words1.txt. All right. So now if I had my words1, what do I have there? So I have 2, oh no, 1, 1. Right, let me put it on top. Then 80, and 4, then, right. So the only difference that I see is like the dictionary lineup is a little bit different. Whoever decided that this was a good alphabet or dictionary sorting was different than the guy who wrote the code here for sort. Now let's try another one. Sort minus r words dot txt, and then we're going to send to words1 again. Just so I don't keep generating different files. Head. So this was the dash r, right? And then I get z, 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 z. So what does dash r mean?
Reverse.
All right, let's try the next one. Sort dash n words. So I'm gonna sort and do dash n words. I'm gonna clear, and I'm gonna add my words one. dash n, and then I get a, another a. What happened?
It prioritizes letters.
Prioritize letters. So letters on top, numbers at the bottom. And supposedly what's gonna do when I reverse the ones that have letters on top?
Well, that's the default, isn't it?
No, but like what happens because the next one is dash rn. So supposedly dash r and dash n. So if dash n with letters on top and numbers on the bottom, what happens if I reverse it? Numbers are gonna be at the top. That's good. So now we have an idea of like how we're gonna play with sort. If you need more information, we just go on the menu page, or we go on the internet, or you come see me or come to tutoring, and then you're gonna ask me, and then we're gonna Google together. Because that's how we figure it out. All right. So I know that my column Z is yours D. Which number of columns is column Z? 26. All right. So we already played this sort. So now let's play the other file with the CSV file. So what if I try sort? Let's see. The name of the file. And then what happens if I just type sort in the name of the file?
Then it's just going to go alphabetical.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? It's going to print on my screen, right? Because my screen is actually the default output. So let's say we're going to put it in a different file. Let's say I'm going to create a file called sorted.csv. Right? There's a file there, sorted.csv. So supposedly that file is sorted, right? Is that good? Let's see. So like what if I catch my sorted.csv? What happens? This is not pretty escape, but like that's that, right? So that's why what we're gonna use is head. And let's say we're gonna print the first two lines. N2. So N, same number of lines, and then 2 because I just want the first two lines of my table. And then it doesn't help us, right? So that's where it comes the next one. Cut. With cut, I can go and tell column 26, then, and then we just get that one, right? Let me clear the screen. So I have the sorted.csv, right? So I'm gonna cut sort.csv. But cut, I need some argument, I guess. Let's see. Cut. And then I have dash D. So I have cut. And then I have dash D. And then I have what? My comma. And then I have dash F. And then I have my column. And then I'm gonna send to a file, right? Let's say test. So cut minus the, and then I have my comma, and then minus f, and then I have 26, which is my column, and then the name of my file, and then I'm gonna set it to test. Oh, sorry. Sorted. So now if I can't test, oh, still out of stuff. There's a whole column out of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head minus in 2 and then my test. Just head. I just told I just showed the head, the top of my file. Oh, okay. And then minus 2 is just because I want to minus like dash and 2 is because then it's just the first one. It doesn't look right. Is it possible that the max yards gain in the season is 0 or run? Right? So there's something wrong. Before that, I want to touch into something. So what we just did was we used the command and we used the file, right? File 1. And then we sent to file number 2, right? And then we use the command number 2. We use file 2 as the input, and then we send to file number 3. Right? Is there a smarter way of doing this?
You can send it to file number 3, yeah.
No, there's a smarter way. Find them? Yeah. So I'll be creating tons of files on my desktop. Or I can just do this. I find the output of that of this action instead of going to my screen, instead of going to a file, it's gonna be the input for this other command. And these are the arguments for that command. And then what I can do, I can send to my screen, or I can pipe into the next thing. So on. In the morning, somebody asked, how is this different than using a semicolon? What do you guys think? What does the semicolon do? Yeah, you do another command without going to another line. But then you still have to actually store that in a file. It would still be the same. It would still be the same command file, and then go to file number 2, and then instead of going to the next line, then you have command. So like this is not safe because you still have to actually generate this file. The pipeline is just so you don't even create the file. Just go straight to the next one. There's no storage. Okay? Alright, so to the rest of the class, we're just gonna use pipelines, otherwise we're gonna be saving in files and So let's go back to our problem. I got the first file, which was a table, a CSV file, and then I sorted it. And then I look at row number 26, and I took that one row, right? So now I have the one row that's row 26, and then I took the first two lines there and zero and run. And it should be a big number. It's the most number of yarn games in a whole season. Who can guess or who can have an educated guess of what happened? No, but it's somewhere in there. What was the other file that was sorted?
Dictionary.
Dictionary. And what's the second file that was sorted?
Well, it's a football stuff that was second, right? So
But it is a
the CSV. So it's
table.
probably, since it was separated by commas, something got messed up when we sorted it, right?
So depending on what we're working with, so you know what? When we use sort and we're doing sort something on the table, I need stuff here to tell what I'm going to sort, right? All right. So let's see. How do we find it?
Man.
Google. Sort table in Word. No, not in Word. In Linux. K option. K is for the column number. What we need to do? So we need to do sort -K and then the column number. Is that gonna fix? Sort -K 26. We know that if I do reverse numerical, the numbers that will be on the bottom now is going to be on the top, right? So let's do reverse numerical. Sort, so -R n, then let's do that one. -R n, and then instead of creating the various files, can it be piped, or is it too fast? You can be generating the files. That's fine. But like we can just do this, and from this guy, we're gonna sort number 26, and then we can cut the 26 out of it. So this is the first command. Cut is the second command, and then head, it will be my other command. Too fast? Or can we do it?
Well, first, don't we need to specify the input file before we pipe it?
Oh yeah. Right. Always
Reg PBP.
Reg. So then we're gonna, whatever comes out of that, we're gonna cut -D, comma, because that's the delimiter, right? Comma separated value. And then we're gonna do dash F26. Oops, yeah, 26. I'm sorry, I'm right on top of the thing. Thank you. Again, stored minus K dash K 6 dash RN and then drag and then I'm gonna apply that into my cut and then I will do dash D comma because it's the D. The D stands for the delimiter. And my delimiter is my comma. And then F26, which is my column 26. And then now, by doing this, I'm going to extract just the answer is going to be just the column 26.
Don't we now need to forward it to another file then?
No, but now we can still send to a head
Mhm.
and just take the first two.
Okay.
So now I'm going to head because I just want to see the top and dash N2. So supposedly when I hit enter, I'm only going to have two numbers, right? Two numbers, yard scale and 0. So that's wrong still. The one thing that we never told the computer is that we are using a comma separated value. So we have to tell the delimiter for this command is also a comma because we told in the cut command we told the delimiter, right? But in the sort command we never did. So let's go back to our Chromium. So how to sort table, how to sort CSV in Linux. Oh, sort, field separator. So if you click here somewhere, well, right there, to sort by delimiter pass, the dash T option. So for this one to work, I need the dash T and then comma. So we have your spreadsheet, which is a CSV. Between this one and the next one, we're going to run sort. But sort to work on a spreadsheet, on a CSV file, we have to tell the delimiter and then I can either do this or I can just do this. Why? Because if you try, it didn't work. That's fine. If you try, it doesn't work, then you can't do it. It only will work. What else we have to tell? Dash key 26 because we want to use column 26. And then my file. All right. So that's what we're going to type. Let me clear. I'm going to go to the top, so sort, and I need the minus T comma. That's what I needed there. what we're gonna do is, so right now, we ended up with a table. We've sorted dash RN just for the order. So because we want high numbers on top. Okay? So these are the three arguments that were. So now we end up with sorted column 26. Now, when we use cut, we're gonna get this column 26, and we're gonna transfer to my output. So we're only gonna have the sorted column 26 and just the column. So what are the arguments that we need for cut? We need dash D because I need to tell my delimiter. That's a comma, so it's right there. And I need dash F26 because it's the column that I want to cut out of it. So now I just cut this one column. But now let's say I just want to see the first thing on top. So right now I want to cut this one thing off from the top. So I can head dash N1 and I just get one. Who wasn't able to follow? Everybody good? Everybody breathing? So, who considers himself a very good fantasy football player? What's the top number of yards gained in one play in the year of 2019? 93 out of 100 yards. That's pretty good. 93. Let's see. Who wants to guess what's the, let's see, kick distance? That's column 40. So if we replace this at 40, then we get kick distance. 3 yards. How did they calculate that? It's longer than the. Oh, because the goal is actually not on the. Is the goal? No, the goal is not on 0. Yep. Oh, that's why. But supposedly the guy kicked from like his own field. That's. I've never seen that happening. Oh, maybe it was a fun.
Oh, yeah. How big is a football field again?
100?
Like that's what I thought.
It's
I'm just
100
like,
plus the
Other
plus
side,
the end
right?
zone on each side.
right. That's
But is it 120 because there's 10 on each end zone? Yeah. But I was like, how come it's 103? Usually the guy barely 5. But yeah.
is why I will never be into fantasy football.
Yeah. You guys can play that like with that table later. But the main idea all the arguments are gonna be, everything are gonna have like everything are gonna have arguments like the age of just using the command in one thing, it's kind of like a over. So we're gonna be have to specify many things. And again, if you know, like I know that this works. Can I try to change something here? Let's say I want to do RNT comma. So I'm gonna try to say space. Does that work? Yes. See, so like just so you know like what works and what doesn't work. And then that's why you see like I don't know if like once you're using the computer and you say, I need to run a command to do something. And then you Google like what command. And then usually there is a command and there's a bunch of like X, Y, Z dash blah. And it looks like wow, the guys speak like in matrix language. But it's just like what the manual tell you to type, it's not like a big deal. So that's yeah. So imagine that I only want the so I just want the total yards gain and the kick distance in my table. I don't want a table of all that. I want yards gain. So I want just yards gain and kick distance in one table, all the data. So we already know how to get how to sort. Let's say we're not gonna even sort. Let's keep this back. We're just gonna cut and save. And then we're gonna cut the second column and save. Right? So can anybody tell me how like what I would type to cut column number 26 and save in a file called yards.csv. No, first we're gonna cut. So we're gonna cut like what do I have to type to cut column number 26?
So it'd be cut -d, comma, dot F20, dash F26.
Yeah.
And
the
then,
file name,
yeah.
which is it R? Yeah, right. So right now, with the command that data told us, we actually cut that one column there. Now I really want to save in a file. So I'm gonna save in a file yards.csv. Right on my desktop. Yards.csv down there. Now I want to do my kick distance. I want to do the same but store on my kick.csv. I can just like that hit my arrow going up, and then it's gonna recall the last command that I typed, right? And then it can go right into the column 26, and now I want to cut column 40. That's the one where my kick distance was. Enter. Oh. All right. .csv. Enter. All right. So now I have two files. Here. I have kick.csv and I have yard.csv. Both supposedly are just one column of data. How do I check? Just quick check. Is it a one column of data? Anybody? Head. Head. Kick. Yeah, kick distance NA just because like at that play, the guy never kicked through that play. So head. And then the other one was yards. Yards gained, and then the number of yards. That's interesting. Does anybody type a head kick and then head yards on your own computer?
Mhm.
Did you see that like at the first? So like this is actually it's actually organized also by time in
Mhm.
space. Like for example, this was the very first game of the season. So this one started first. So like they never got any yards, never got any yards, never got any yards, and then they actually had to kick, right? And then that's why the fourth one then like you get the. All right, so now we're going to use the last command that we have for today, which is paste. We're going to erase all that. All right. For you guys that couldn't wait for me to do it, why not just let me do paste? Nobody try? Paste. Let's say yards.csv, kick.csv. And what do we want to do? Enter? I don't know. So we just like if we send this to a file, we never send it to a file, right? We send it right to the screen. So if we send to a file, this would be what we would get. The two columns. First column would be column 26 from that spreadsheet. Second column would be column 40 from that spreadsheet. Good. What would we do if we want to put in a file? We have that, and then we would redirect to a different file, right? Use the redirect symbol and send to a file. So you're all like when using paste, we're always gonna put up things like this. So first, the first file, second file. What if first file has like a 10 columns? All right, 10 columns. But it would still be first file, second file. On your exercise, you're gonna use a different thing. Oh, and actually there's one difference too. Enter. What's wrong with the picture? What file is that? That's the class name that
I think it actually ends at 50. But
There's no there's no semicolon there. So when you use trace, if you want to make a CSV file, you want to tell the delimiter. So dash D,
I tried that. That doesn't work very well.
it doesn't work.
Just
Yeah.
make one long column.
Oh, no. It has the
Huh. Huh. Maybe I did something different.
no, but that's the yeah, and in the last minute, if you use the serial dash S,
Mhm.
then you paste it like this. You paste it so first column. So first column becomes first row. And you guys are gonna use the exercise. All right, thank you guys. And just remembering that like whenever we have a handout, we assume that you guys did all the exercise. And if you guys have no questions, it's because it was easy. Right? If you have questions, come see me, come see John. Tutoring Mondays and Fridays 4 to 6. Or if you don't have anything to do from 4 to 6, you can just go and hang out with John. He's a nice guy.
I actually had a question about the quiz because it marked one of my answers wrong. And I got back